Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the final Individual and Family Biweekly webinar. These webinars were started a couple of months ago to bring information and updates to those who are utilizing what is now the Health and Wellness Waiver and the Traumatic Brain Injury Waiver. So through that series, these webinars were intended to bring you information and updates to prepare you for that transition to July 1. And we continued these through the end of July just to make sure you had all the information you needed for moving forward. So while this is the last webinar of this kind, there will be lots of different opportunities in the future for individuals and families to receive information from us at the Bureau of Disability Services and also from FSSA, and to have some good, meaningful conversations with you all as we kind of move through the next several months and years. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. You will see in the announcements, there's a number of links that I have put in there that I've shared for you. I've shared those in the past, but those are just helpful places for you to visit for more information. So real quickly, before we jump too far in, if you are an individual who would like or needs to use live captions, you can turn on live captions and subtitles by selecting captions / subtitles on in your video controls. And to change the caption language, you would select settings and then again captions and subtitles and choose the language that you would like. If you have a question as we're going through, there is a Q&A on the right side of your screen. You can type your question in the box and hit send. Your questions are only visible to the presenters, and questions will be answered as time permits. So as it has been in the past, because these are only 30 minutes, we have not, up to this point, had the ability or time to answer questions, but please don't let that deter you from entering questions, because even if we can't get to them to answer them, those questions are used to inform additional guidance that we can develop for you guys, or even different topics for future webinars that we may do moving forward. So today really is going to be about how to navigate our website, how to find information, and how to stay connected so that you have all the information available to you moving forward, so you know how to find information. I am, in the beginning of this, just going to go over a couple of different resources that are currently available. Just want to highlight for you to ensure that you saw those resources that are now available on the website. So let's dive into that right now. So on the Medicaid Strategies webpage, which is and has been the page that has housed all of the information as we were preparing for the transition for July 1. That all of that information still remains on that webpage. There was some additional guidance and information that was distributed recently around home health. And, you know, we've received a number of different questions around that. So there is now a fact sheet for you to review. There is that fact sheet provides just some general information. And then there's also a frequently asked questions document that really highlights a lot of the questions that we have received either by individuals, families, or care managers. And then there's also a home health guidance for care managers. So we hope that you as an individual or a family who is accessing the health and wellness and TBI waiver find even that information helpful so that you know what to expect from your care manager and what they have been directed to do when it comes to the home health guidance. I'll also highlight that on that Medicaid Strategies webpage, there was a list, a very long list of structured family caregiving providers who were approved to provide services on the health and wellness waiver and the traumatic brain injury waiver in preparation of July 1. We put that list on there as we were doing expedited approvals of those providers, and also wanted families to have a very easy, accessible way to access that list. And so now that we have gotten past July 1 and all of those providers are showing up on pick lists, that list has been removed from the Medicaid Strategies webpage. And so if you are an individual or family who is interested in changing your structured family caregiving provider or any provider of any of your services for that matter, you would contact your care manager who would provide you an updated pick list to choose that new provider. So care managers should be printing a brand new pick list every time it is asked for. So you should have the most updated version available within our system. Also want to point out that as we move past the July month, the month of July, a lot of that information that is on the Medicaid Strategies webpage, you will start to see it moving to other web pages where it may fit the best, right? And so that won't happen quickly or overnight, but wanted to just kind of make you aware that while you may have a habit of looking at the Medicaid Strategies webpage, you can continue to do so because we'll provide updates there. But as we start updating other web pages, including the Bureau of Disability Services webpage, some of the information that you find there may get moved to our webpage where it's more appropriate. Also wanted to provide a reminder that if you are new to waivers and you want to apply for the health and wellness and TBI waiver, the process for that has not changed. You would still, individuals and families still would contact their area agency on aging to start that process to apply for a health and wellness or TBI waiver. In addition to that, AAA, the Area Agency on Aging, or the ADRC, individuals and families can contact InConnect Alliance to get more information around and to apply for the health and wellness and TBI waivers. So that information for InConnect Alliance, that website and phone number is there in the middle of your screen. As always, if an individual or family is wanting to apply for the family support waiver or the community integration and habilitation waiver, they would contact their local BEADS office, as well as we have the ability to complete an application online, which I will show you where that is in just a few slides. So because we have directed you towards the Area Agency on Aging, and we're going to spend some time talking about the website for the Division of Disability and Rehabilitative Services, particularly even spending some more information around the Bureau of Disability Services, wanted to make sure you had kind of a visual of where you can find those area agencies on aging, because those are the agencies that you will be interacting with as part of your application for or level of care for the health and wellness and traumatic brain injury waiver. So that information will remain on the Division of Aging webpage, although we hope that in the future we will also have a link to that on our website here at the Bureau of Disability Services. But if you go to the link at the top, the www.in.gov/FSSA/DA, you will be able to find those area agencies on aging, and that will give you that printable map. It also gives you directions to the nearest AAA office, but then also has the list here that shows which offices cover which counties and what their contact information is. So with that, wanted to kind of introduce you to the Division of Disability and Rehabilitative Services homepage. And so when you pull up the website, the www.in.gov/FSSA/DDRS, this is the top of the screen that you will see. And so wanted to point out a couple of different things. So within all of FSSA, there are a couple of settings at the top that may be of interest to you. So the first is there are accessibility settings. So you can click on there and choose the type of accessibility that is needed to be able to navigate and read the website based upon what your needs are. In addition, we also have a language translation piece where you can choose from a multitude of different languages that you may be your first language and that you can read from. And there's also within all of FSSA's web pages this top left-hand or right-hand corner search bar. And so if you're not finding what you're looking for, you can always search some keywords in there and hopefully get to the place that you're looking for. So then when we look at the DDRS homepage, the first part is, or the first top left navigation is really some of that kind of basic overall information. So there is about DDRS. So if you click on that, you will find more information about us. There's information about the Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities Task Force and what that is and when they meet. There's information about case management innovation, which is something that the Bureau of Disability Services embarked on a few years ago. And so you will be able to see how we got to where we are with case management services for the FSW and the CIH. You will also see historical information around our waiver redesign efforts, which I will say are ongoing. And now that we have all 4 waivers under our purview, we are looking at, how do we enhance quality and service delivery and accessibility of all of those waivers to all of the populations that we now serve. And then lastly, there's a click where you can find employment opportunities within the state of Indiana. So then if you scroll down a little bit on that page, there are other places that you will see. So the first thing I want to point out is like this white box that shows up on the right hand of your screen. And so currently those are the 3 different links that are highlighted there. Those will change from time to time of what is in that box. And so those change based upon kind of what are some of those more frequently accessed pages or questions or places that people need to easily find. And so you'll see like the Medicaid strategies webpage that we refer to a lot is right there. So so just keep in mind the choices in that white kind of box on the right side of the screen will change from time to time. In addition, there are the list of programs and services under the Division of Disability Rehabilitative Services. So the first one I wanted to point out is First Steps. And so that is our sister bureau. That's the Bureau of Child Development Services. And so that is the early intervention systems for children ages 0 to 3 who have an identified disability. So your child may have gone through the First Step system. So that is how you can find information about them. Next, you will see the rehabilitation/employment. And so that is our other sister bureau, which is our Bureau of Rehabilitative Services, which houses vocational rehabilitation. So that is available to individuals with all types of disabilities to find and maintain employment. There is also under there, if you click that little tab, you will see the services that are available through our deaf and hard of hearing services and our blind and visually impaired services. But then the ones we will talk about a lot today is the tab that says Disability Services. So that is ours, the Bureau of Disability Services webpage. And then there's also, in addition to that, is our quality assurance page. And so we're going to walk through those two pages a little more with you as we kind of move through a few more slides. But before we get to those, wanted to also kind of point out, as you continue to scroll down that home page of DDRS, there are still more information that's available to you. And so on that left tab, there is information and resources. And so there is a long list there that I'll kind of point out each one of those and give you a brief explanation. But then also to the right of your screen are these type of buckets. And so what is available in that section is also available in the information and resources. But these are kind of quick links to help you get to some of those more frequently visited pages quicker. And so you'll see there are just different links there that you can find them in that space, or you can also find them by going even further into the information and resources tabs. So just quickly, some of the information that is available under there. So the first one is the determining disability status for Indiana health coverage programs. So this will take you to the Indiana health coverage programs website, where it explains the nuances and the requirements between Social Security disability determinations and Medicaid disability determinations. And so we know we get a lot of questions around that. And so you may find some of that information helpful as you're navigating through the array of services that are available to you. The DDRS announcements. And so this is where all the announcements that go out via our listserv, which I will show you how to sign up for that. Those are all housed there. So if you are looking for a certain announcement, or you've accidentally deleted it within your email, those are housed there for you to reference. And so those have not just the Bureau of Disability Services announcements, but our sister bureaus as well, and also DDRS overarching announcements that are made. In addition, that policy tab, so if you click there, you will be able to see all of our current policies and read through each one of those. In addition, if we have any policies or waiver amendments that are out for public comment, you will see the link in there to view those. You may have had some interaction with those during this last waiver amendment when they were open for public comment. So then there's a tab called Information and Families. And so I'm going to kind of go into that one a little bit more so you'll know exactly what's in there. I'll do that in just a couple of slides. And then Home and Community-Based Services Final Rule Statewide Transition Plan. So this will take you to an additional page that will give you information about the final settings rule and the statewide transition plan that Indiana had to submit to our federal authority. Last week, we talked about the life course, and so there are lots of information and resources under this tab titled Person-Centered Planning through the life course. And so you can kind of scroll through there and see what information is available there. And then provider information, those are for our providers to click through, and that will take you to the provider services page, which has lots of information about either how to become a provider or if you're a current provider, information that you need to know. So then as you continue to scroll down, you will also find in that left tab information about the statewide waiver ombudsman, which we have covered in previous webinars about who that is and the role that they play. You can also click here to find the local DDRS office. So that is not just the Bureau of Disability Services offices, but also if you're looking for your local vocational rehabilitative services office, you can find that there. There's also a link to FSSA calendar of events, a link to how to report fraud or incidences, a DDRS speaker request form. So if you are working with an organization and you want us to come and speak to your organization, you just fill out that form and we'll reach out to you to get more information and to do scheduling. So that's an easy way to reach us to request speaking. And then again, just another place for you to contact DDRS. It provides more information there. As I said earlier, when we talked about the announcements, this is where in this white space where under DDRS Home, you'll see it says to register or re-register to receive all DDRS updates. Click here. So that is where you will click to sign up to receive those announcements that go out. And so those announcements cover a wide variety of things. So some of them are very provider driven and provide information and updates to specific services or providers. But it's also where we would announce things like our Building Bridges meetings, which we talked about last time, which are those meetings that are specific to individuals and families utilizing services. So then I want to kind of circle back to the Disability Services tab under Program and Services and kind of walk you through what you will find there. So when you click that tab, you will see information about us. And so it really just talks about who we are at the Bureau of Disability Services. This will be updated to also reflect the individuals with nursing facility level of care, but this also shows you how you can connect and follow us on Facebook. And again, another place to sign up for those announcements. Services and service information. So that takes you to how to file a complaint, district maps, and those types of things. So like when I shared earlier about how to find our offices, this is another way that you can get that map or get directions to that. Also, I shared that you can apply for our services online, and so that is part of this main page for the Bureau of Disability Services. So you would tag or you would click on the BEADS Gateway link right there where you can apply for BEADS services on the website. And there is also, to do that, we have instructions, we have a video tutorial. We also have some different guidance and information and FAQs around how to access that FAQ and what are some of the things and how to answer some of the questions that might be asked of you. There also is a link to the paper application, which you can still download and send to the office to apply that way if you do not wish to apply online. And then if you scroll down further, you will see all of our effective waivers. And so in the coming weeks, we will have the home and community-based waiver and the traumatic brain injury waiver here, so you can link directly to that approved waiver and see that if that's something you wish to do. And then also, as you continue to scroll down, you will see the number of different fact sheets that we have available. I will say we will be adding fact sheets around the health and wellness waiver and the traumatic brain injury waiver, but this is also where that home health fact sheet may eventually live. And so you'll notice that most of our fact sheets are available in English, Spanish, and Burmese. And then as you continue to go down, you will see some additional resources, some kind of archived webinars that provide some additional information, and then some more information for providers that takes them to that provider page. So then wanted to call out what's available on the quality assurance tab. So if you click that one, this is the page that will take you to, and this is what you will see. And so this has all the information about how incident management, complaints, the ombudsman, mortality review, our quality on-site provider reviews, provider re-verification, and data and reports. So the incident management system is something that providers report based upon a person who is utilizing services and supports through BEADS, and if they need to file an incident report. But what you may be most interested in is the complaint section. And so everyone has the ability to file a complaint. So if you are not receiving services in a way that you feel is appropriate or that follows the rules and guidelines, you can either call or submit a complaint form online. Also, if you have an individual who lives in a supervised group living setting, there's a link here to the Department of Health long-term care. So then here is, if you continue to scroll down, where you can find more information about the ombudsman, with the mortality reviews and what that really means and what they're looking at, and then our on-site provider reviews. One of the things that you may be most interested in on that page is, if you continue to scroll down, there's a number of resources and training that was really written for providers, but there is lots of great information in here for individuals and families as well. And so as we continue to do those training opportunities, this is where all of those things will be housed. And so if any, there's lots of different topics, but if any of those are of interest to you, those are great training materials to look at. And then again, we have more information about risk assessment and data reports. The data and reports will link you to the National Core Indicators Project, which really, through talking through individuals and families and various different surveys and means, really kind of looks at the quality of waiver supports and outcomes for people who are utilizing services within Indiana, but that's also something that's done nationally. And then again, there's how to contact BEADS. So as you have found, we have that in lots of different places. So also wanted to quickly point out what's available in the information for individuals and families. So when you click that, you will be able to see our waitlist portal. The DDRS commissions and councils, that's where you will see anything that includes our DDRS Advisory Council, that also includes our Building Bridges meetings, lots of different commissions and councils as well. It'll give you a description of what those are, and how to connect to the next one that is scheduled. And then again, you know, those service areas and maps that we have shared previously, and different forms and statistics. So that's, I know, a lot of information, but I hope it was helpful to look at just how to find that information, because I know it can be a little grueling sometimes when you're trying to find information on the website about who to contact, what to reference, all of those types of things. But as a reminder, if you have specific questions about your specific plans or services, please first contact your care manager and or their supervisor when necessary. And if you're unable to obtain a resolution through your care manager or through that AAA or independent care management agency, or you have specific policy questions, you can contact BEADS Help, and we will provide you an answer. So again, if you want to report a complaint, that information is available to you. And then also, I know we talked about building bridges meetings last time, and so these are meetings specifically for you as an individual and family member who is accessing services. And so we are in the process of scheduling those, and hopefully we'll have an announcement coming out in the next week or so. So please keep an eye out. We'll post those on our Facebook page as well as through that DDRS announcements. And so these are really an opportunity for you to talk to us at the state and tell us what's working, what's not working, what are your fears, what are your concerns, what are the things that you would like to see happen. So just to stay informed, again, follow us on Facebook. You can sign up for those listserv announcements. Check back with our DDRS BEADS webpage as we continue to make updates to those, as well as to the Medicaid Strategies webpage. So thank you so much for joining us today, and throughout the last couple of months, it really has been my pleasure to present some information to you that I hope has been helpful as you have moved through this transition. And we look forward to further conversations that are a lot more interactive. And so, so until then, take care, and please feel free to reach out to us with any questions or concerns you have.